right. Hello, everybody. This is Stuart Jean coming back at you with Musicians Institute Drum Magazine. We're in April 2020, and we are going to tackle the subject of hybrid drumming, E-drums, alongside acoustic drums. We're going to start out kind of simple today, and through the month, we're going to build up to more complex usages of E-drums and hybrid drumming. You know, a lot of you out there are probably feeling the pressure from friends like, hey, you don't use electronics? You have to, man. You got to get into this, and it's so important. And it is. I tell students all the time now, if you see a drummer on TV, most likely there isn't a rack tom. There's SPDX or a Yamaha Multi-12. There's something going on, Octopad, something. Triggers, obviously. I mean, it's endless, and it's overwhelming. And that is the key word. And that's what makes most of us go, you know what? Forget all this, because you don't know where to begin. We don't all have $5,000 sitting around to buy a giant E-kit that has all this capability, and it's just so overwhelming that I just give up, and I'm sure you're out there feeling the same way, and especially like some of you maybe old school guys or more traditional guys, or people that are just starting and you're still trying to just focus on your drumming, and you're feeling compelled like I have to get into electronics. So let's start out easy, okay? We're going to look at the Roland TM2. This thing has 2 channels and some preset sounds that are pretty normal. And it's a simple way to just kind of put your foot in the water and go, okay, I kind of get it. I can see what I can do here. Okay. So let's dig into the TM2. Let's think about the practical uses of electronics. Okay, yeah, I mean, you can do anything you want, but let's talk about something that can help you on your gig tomorrow, okay? And I'm going to start out with the bass drum, all right? I'm sure you've played in rooms where, it's not very forgiving for the drum set. So let's say your bass drum is not going to be mic'd up. Let's say there is a PA, but it's not going to be mic'd up. And you play your bass drum, like right now, my bass drum, that has a D112 inside the drum, just laying on a pillow. Nothing fancy. You can hear that. Let me eliminate the mic. Now I have the overheads on still. There's my drum. Pretty simple. Probably sounds a little thinner compared to the mic inside the drum. But let's say I'm playing like this. And they're not going to mic the drums up. You put the trigger on the bass drum, the RT30K. Pretty simple bass drum trigger. Has to be, it's a bass drum one because it fits on the hoop of the drum. So it's important to know that. It doesn't fit, it has a deeper channel on it, so it fits on that thick wood hoop. If you just need to kind of have a beefier sound, you could send a line to the board and just do this. Pull this guy up. So here it is. No microphone. All we have is the overheads. Pretend the overheads are just your ears. You're standing in a room. And now I have a sound on here called round kick, number 4, on all the bass drums. Okay, it doesn't sound like an electronic drum. It's just giving me that little bit of sweetness. Just fattening up that sound for me. If we have to play, if we're not getting the sound that we want, it does affect how we play. We try not to let it, but it affects how we play. And we might tend, if we're not hearing the drum or it sounds kind of thin, we might end up hitting it even harder and choking it up, and we're just not comfortable. So this is a great aid. So immediately, this is a practical application for electronics. This is now a hybrid drum. Very simple, no fancy sounds, just snare drum. What's cool here, I have the single trigger RT30H Roland. They make more advanced ones now. These are a little older, but they totally work. And you just clip them on. I'm not going to get into all the sensitivities and all that. You'd have to mess with that, but this is basically right out of the box. Here's my snare with nothing, right? Let's bring in this. It's called a bright snare. Not a huge difference. House snare. I like that. It's adding some low end and a little bit of distortion. And what I really love about this is if I just hit the rim with the hoop, there's the sound by itself. So I have a regular sound. And then I have a blended sound. It's the same as if you're choosing what snare to use for a gig. What snare should I bring? What ride should I bring? What bass drum beater should I use? What size bass drum? What room am I playing? Well, here's another tool for you. So it's just a tool. It's not trickery. It's just a way to enhance your sound. But this is a great starting place. A couple cables, a clamp for this guy, and the unit, and a couple triggers, and it could really be a deal maker for you to get that gig. Could really separate you. And it doesn't really change anything you're doing. It does change your technique here and there. If you have any technique flaws or little isms that you do, I have a little, before I hit my bass drum, I tend to have a little flutter or a little pre-note that kind of happens a little bit sometimes. And with the trigger, I have to be careful that, I'm not kind of false triggering. So I have to play a little more deliberate. Obviously, this is with the sensitivity and things. If I play like a ghost note, I'm just feeling it, and all of a sudden I might hear a loud hand clap on a strange part of the beat, and I have to realize maybe no ghost note. So it makes you economize your playing, So anyway, I'm just gonna end this thing with I'm just gonna roll through some sounds, and it inspires you to play, it inspires you to do something different. So here we go. I'm just gonna fool around a little bit. And next week we'll start talking about, we're going to stay on the TM2, but we're going to add some triggering pads. We're going to talk about splitting the signal. So we'll get into that next week. So I'm just going to end here with just some fooling around with the sounds on the TM2. So thanks a lot, everyone. I hope you dig this, and I hope it helps. Don't be scared of electronics. Do the deep dive. If you're a blues player, if you're a rock player, you can use this stuff. So enjoy it. Check it out.